I'm Haas Diego, founder of the CPO group on Facebook and a BKA with 8 years of experience. I want to thank you for joining us today. If you can please type your questions in the comment section or IM them to me, and we will get back to you in just a few days. Today, we have an exciting guest speaker, Greg Johnson, who has been in orthotics and prosthetics since 1997. He became a certified tech in 2000, a certified orthotist in 2004, and a certified prosthetist in 2013, and currently practices in the Northwest Arkansas area. So, Greg, thank you for taking time out in your busy schedule to help us understand more about limb amputations and the challenges of them and prosthetics.
No problem. I'm glad to help.
Thank you very much. So, want to jump right into the questions?
Yeah, we might as well.
Okay. So, first question is, can you briefly describe the training that is required to become a prosthetist?
Over the years, it's changed quite a bit. You know, back when I first started, you could take a unique pathway and you could do a apprenticeship type situation. No longer can you do that no more. Shortly after that, it required a bachelor's degree, and now it's stepped all the way up to you have to have a master's degree to be able to be a certified prosthetist and orthotist. So wow. That's quite a bit of school.
Wow, that's a lot of school. Yeah, that's a lot of education debt. So, what does a prosthetist actually do?
Well, we evaluate a patient, and it may be even before their amputation while they're in the hospital, or it may be shortly after they have their amputation and they're in the hospital. And we evaluate them, get them started with equipment to get them ready for a prosthetic device, and then we'll cast, measure, fit, and then regulate the fit throughout the course of the life of the prosthesis until the patient changes or until it's worn out.
Okay. What does now do some prosthetists specialize in certain areas of prosthetics, and do you specialize?
I don't specialize in any particular one. I do a little bit of everything. I do have another prosthetist in the office, and he does most of our upper extremities. He has a lot more experience than I do, and I try to sit in on those so I can learn. But, you know, there are certain people, depending on how big the cities are, things like that, they may specialize in certain individual pieces. But mostly, since education is so high, makes wages high, which makes it you need to be well-rounded in everything.
Nice. Thank you. And what is orthotics and what do you do in that field?
Orthotics is bracing your body. Whether, you know, in orthotics, we brace the patient, and prosthetics, we replace the part that they're missing. So easiest way to explain that is Forrest Gump. He wore long leg braces that he ran out of. So, you know, that's old school orthotics, but orthotics is from head to toe. So we'll do cervical collars for people that get in car accidents, or spinal for people who have lumbar surgery, or even hip adduction braces, all the way down to foot orthotics for plantar fasciitis or diabetics.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you do anything for feet with orthotics. That's very interesting. Does a person facing an amputation get to consult with a prosthetist before the surgery? And if they don't have that option, what questions would you suggest that we ask our surgeon if we're interested in different levels of mobility?
You know, it just depends on what the situation is. So the questions could vary in a wide range. But if you have the option to discuss that, you know, if you have the option to go see a prosthetist, I definitely would go and see a prosthetist, because, you know, your prosthetist is someone you're going to work with for the rest of your life. So you need to be able to get along with that person, and you need to make sure that they're going to listen to you and fulfill your concerns. Your surgeon, I would definitely ask your surgeon about where the amputation is going to be, whether it's above the ankle, at the knee, or above the knee. So the longer residual limb you have, the more control of your prosthesis you have. So it fits in, you know, more control, better adaptability. Or if it's too short, you know, then things are harder to fit. So if you have a choice, then that's best to discuss with your surgeon of where it's going to be on your body.
Okay, cool. And that makes sense. It's kind of like a lever.
Yes.
With this, like for instance, if this is your knee, the longer you have below the knee, the more leverage you have and the more force you can have to move your.
And it's kind of like trying to hold a hammer. You know, if you hold a hammer like this, that's hard. If you hold a hammer like this, you have a lot more control. So, you know, smaller the grip, you know, the harder the forces are.
Sure. Thank you. That was really good. That helps explain a lot of it. Now, how do you find a prosthetist to help after I get an amputation? How would I do that?
A lot of times your prosthetist will be referred by your physician. They may have someone they'd like to use. But in most cases, they may not be the best person for you. So the best thing to do would be just to Google facilities that do prosthetics in your area. And I would do a broad search, maybe 100-mile radius, because your options, the smaller your town, the options are going to be small. So I would reach out and I would definitely visit with all of them. You know, find the person that best fits you. You know, so, but yeah, just Google or just go with, you know, if you trust your doctor, just go with your doctor's referral. And a lot of times you'll be seen by your prosthetist before you even get out of the hospital. So.
Oh, okay. Interesting. What kind of a recovery time for, well, the different lower limbs, like below the knee amputation and above the knee, what kind of recovery time is average before a person starts to get their first prosthetic limb?
If there's no complications, you know, as far as diabetes, healing, or things like that, usually you're ready to start the process in about 6 weeks. When you get your staples removed and all your scabs have healed, then you're ready to start the shrinking phase and start measuring to start your prosthetic. But once you start, it takes approximately about a month or so, depending on how difficult. Usually about a month from the 6-point mark, another month for you to be able to start walking.
Okay. Now, is anybody going to show me how to use this new prosthetic limb, like for a leg?
Well, in our facility, we have walking bars, and we will walk the patient, you know, as long as they're comfortable, and we'll let them walk in the bars, because you have to walk in it and stand in it for us to be able to get the proper alignment for you and everything like that. That's very important. And a lot of times you'll be referred to PT after you're fit with your prosthesis, and a physical therapist that specializes in this will show you a lot of things. You know, before you leave our facility, you know how to put it on, you know how to take it off. But any facility, you should know all this. You know how to put it on, how to take it off, how to adjust the fit with socks. You should know all that. As far as adjusting the prosthesis itself, you do not do that. You let your prosthetist do that.
Oh, So we don't
Unless you
take
got
our
a
own
lot
little
of
tools and
experience. Yeah, yeah.
mix it with
It's
it.
best not to just pull the toolbox out and start taking things apart because sometimes it just don't go together right. But, you know, some of these guys who's been doing it for a long time, who's been a long time wearer, they know what they need. They know how to fine tune some stuff, you know, and some people are more mechanically inclined than others. So, but yeah, physical therapists usually finish up the training on that.
amputees, yeah, new amputees definitely should not try and make any adjustments on their prosthetic leg or limb.
No, if it's a fit adjustment, you definitely want to have your prosthetist do that.
Okay. Okay. Now, is it, and this is a new one that I thought up, with a new amputee, and you start out with your first prosthetic limb, is there often quick changes that happen with a limb, like a leg?
Most definitely. Whenever you first get your leg amputated, your leg's going to be swelled up. It's going to be mad. I mean, it's not used to what's going on. So as soon as your 6 weeks comes up and you're all healed up, then we put a shrinker on you, and we try to shrink that down as much as we can before we start fitting you with a prosthesis. Because as soon as you start wearing a prosthesis, you're going to shrink fast. And usually within about 6 months of getting your prosthesis, you're having to get a new socket because you shrank so much. And so usually the first one's in about 6 months. And then after that, you can probably go a while with your second socket. But definitely your first 3 or 4 years, it's not uncommon to get 3 or 4 legs.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. What if I don't like my prosthetist? Don't get along? It doesn't seem to come up with a good socket for me. Can I find a new one, and would they be willing to work on the device that was put together by somebody else?
They should be. I mean, they should be more than willing to work with you. A lot of times the prosthetics, the feet and things like that are under a manufacturer warranty. So they will, no matter who, as long as there's a certified process involved, they will warranty that no matter where you go. As far as the custom item like the socket, a lot of times, as long as your patient knows that if I mess with this, it may void the warranty. They may not want to work on it if I work on it. Then, you know, they got to be willing to understand that. But, you know, if you're looking for another prosthetist, you're probably not going to care because you're probably not going to go back to the guy that you came from, you know. So, but yeah, any prosthetist should be more than willing to work with you and try to get you a proper fit and get you comfortable so you can get back in the real world.
Yeah. Yeah. Because then we're just an amputee with no leg or no arm.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, it's you know, it's very important that you get someone you like, someone you can talk to, someone that listens to you. I mean, if you get a know-it-all and they don't want to listen to you, then you're probably not going to get a lot of your problems resolved. You know, you need to get someone that you can talk to and listen to. And, you know, but it goes both ways. You have to be willing to listen to your prosthetist too. So.
Yeah, that's true. And sometimes you get a patient that's a know-it-all. Yeah.
Right.
And that's hard for the prosthetist. So, and just in case anybody, I want you to know, Greg has been my prosthetist for about 4 years now. And I think he's done an amazing job for me with resolving any issues that I might have. Thought I'd give you a good plug there.
Appreciate it.
So that's what you need, more work. Yeah.
There you go.
So what kind of questions should I ask my insurance company going into this as a new amputee or facing an amputation concerning socks, liners, accessories, how many sockets I can get, how long in between, and all that stuff.
Well, prosthetics is very expensive. So your insurance company is only going to give you what you need. They're not going to build you a library of legs that you can run, jump, swim, scuba. They're not going to do all that. Sometimes luxury of the VA, the VA will go an extra mile for the soldiers to get them certain legs to do certain activities. But private sector, it's a little bit different. In the private sector, you have to prove your activity level. The lower the activity level, the lower active items you will get. So if you just need a leg to help you stand so you can transfer from a wheelchair to your car or whatever to that, you're not going to get a fancy running foot or a fancy, components. But if you're an avid walker and you prove yourself, and a lot of times some of these insurance companies want you to do time trials on stand to sit, walk 100 feet, things like that. And you have to literally prove that these patients are able to do a lot of these things. And then you can get them some of the more high-tech stuff that they'll benefit more from. It does no good to put a high-tech foot on a patient that just stands for 5 seconds, transfers to a wheelchair. They don't need all that. Okay. Right. So some of these things, it gets pretty serious. And the suspension, the sleeves, the liners, as you mentioned, that has to, you need to take all that into consideration, because if you do a suction socket like you wear, that outer sleeve, if you bump it and you put a little pinhole in it, which isn't hard to do, you can do it just getting in your car. That's $100. So, and a lot of people have thousands of dollars deductibles these days, and that can add up quick. That's coming out of your pocket. They don't pay 100% a lot of times. So, if you got a $10,000 leg and you got paid 20% of that because you ain't met your copay, what do? A lot of times though, if you're a new amputee, your surgeries and everything like that got you to be an amputee covers all your copays and max out of pocket. So your first initial stuff usually doesn't cost you much out of pocket at all. But the next year, that's a lot of that's going to come out of your pocket, and you need to keep that in mind. So when you work with your prosthetist, you need to get something that is low maintenance, something that is durable, something that isn't going to cost you $100 every month because you poked a hole in your sleeve. So that's what I try to do. Now, will the prosthetist like you coming in and give them $100 every month? I'm sure they would. That keeps the doors open. But I don't play like that. I look at the situation and I do what's best for my patient, and I try to get my patient something that's not going to nickel and dime them to death over the years to maintain. I want to get them up. I want to get them walking without it costing them another arm and a leg. Little punt there.
No, I knew it was expensive, but me being a VA patient, I don't see that.
No.
And I guess it can run into a huge bill really, really fast.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. So, last question. What resources are there out there for me to learn more about being an amputee and other issues that I might have to deal with besides my CCPO group on Facebook? What other resources are there out there?
One of the greatest resources that I could think of offhand would be YouTube. There's going to be a lot of YouTube videos out there of amputees that are doing things, but I would look for ones that aren't manufacturers of feet and things like that, because these manufacturers are going to put their best walking patient, they're going to put their best, they're going to put the best that they got on their product, and you're going to think, oh my gosh, I can walk so good if I have that foot. It's not the case. So look at real patients, real people. Don't look at manufacturer videos, because they give you a false impression. There's going to be a lot of challenges, but the best, the best thing to do is you got to learn to trust your device, and you got to learn that it's there for you, and you got to have the courage and the strength to get up and walk. And the more you do it, the better you get. So, but yeah, there's support group like you have put together, is really nice. But YouTube, and there may be even on Facebook, there might be some groups as well that deal with amputations as well.
Okay. Thanks. That is so true. It's learning to use your device by just getting up, walking around, first on flat surfaces and then on uneven surfaces and then up hills and down hills. For me, it was a process. I've got 8 years experience, and yeah, it was a process. I had to learn how my leg worked in different situations and different legs. So, thank you very much. And I hope that we can answer any of your guys' questions out there. Again, put them in the comment section or IM us on the CC Peer group. And I'm going to be putting, if you want to contact Greg directly, what I would say is send us your contact information. Sorry, losing my voice. Your contact information. I'll get with Greg, and he'll contact you. Okay, if it's something that he needs to talk to you about. Other than that, we're going to work on your questions, try and get you some really good answers, give you some resources. And so, Greg, do you think you might be interested in coming back and talking some more about some other stuff, maybe answering some questions that we're going to get, answering them live?
I would love to. I mean, whether you work with me or not, I would love to help you any way I can. There's one more thing I want to throw out there for you. I work in Arkansas, and we have, like, if you have private insurance and you're struggling with money situations, we have a Arkansas rehabilitation, and it helps with funding for prosthetics and orthotics so that you could go back to work. As long as you're willing to go back to work or willing to try to go back to work, they will help you and assist you in getting the stuff you need to do that. So don't let money be a situation that keeps you from walking again. There's resources out there that can help you, and you just got to set your heart and your mind and do it.
Nice. So it's kind of like, if you want to get back to work, they'll help pay for the devices and all that, so that I would be able to get back to work, doing whatever I used to do.
Yeah.
Pay for it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Sorry, I probably stuttered and stumbled a little bit there, and I'm waving my arms around. I need to keep them in my lap. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. This is my first time people doing a live video like this, doing an interview. So I will get better. Greg already looks like a pro. I don't know how
It's my
he's
first
done
one
it,
too, man.
but
This is my first.
Greg, thank you very much. And I'll get back with you as I start getting questions on our Facebook page.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
like I said, I'm more than happy to come back and answer any questions and talk with you as needed.
Okay. I look forward to doing this. Thanks again, Greg, and you have a great evening.
You do the same.
And you guys have a great day. Huh? Go ahead. Anything else you want to say, Greg?
No, that's it. Y'all have a good one. Stay safe.
Okay. That's right. All right. Thank you, Greg.
Mm-hmm.